In 2015, the World Bank approved the Sankofa gas project with the aim to increase the availability of natural gas for power generation. The project looks to support Ghana's energy sector, powering a wide range of activities with gas. Ghana saw one of its worst power crises in 2015, bringing to prominence the terminology "dumso." With some 61% of Ghana's power dependent on thermal energy, the need for gas became critical to salvaging the situation. The Sankofa gas project thus came in time to help deal with the situation. Following its construction and operation, a team from the Strategic Youth Network for Development, led by Executive Director Chibeze Ezekiel, conducted a community engagement to assess the impact of the project on the community.
We are here to interview community people to seek from them the impact of the gas plant, their concerns, their views, the environmental assessment issues, whether their views were also considered in the construction or implementation of the plant, and more importantly, to seek their views regarding recommendations on how their grievances or how their concerns can also be addressed.
Sanzule, one of the communities directly affected by the gas project, hosts an onshore facility that receives oil from the Cape 3 Point field, which is some 63 kilometers offshore. The community, with a population of about 2,345 inhabitants, have historically depended on farming and fishing as their main sources of livelihood. They are also direct beneficiaries of interventions put in place as part of the compensations for lands secured for the laying of pipelines and other activities related to the project. Interactions with them revealed issues they believe pose varied challenges, mainly to their health and livelihoods. As part of interventions, affected persons were compensated with alternative sources of livelihood, which included livestock rearing of fish, fowl, sheep, and goats.
We had some very meaningful conversation with the community people. A number of things came out, but a few things stood out for me. Per the completion report, it indicated that about 205 farmers were expected to be affected by the project. And therefore there was a need to provide alternative source of livelihood for them. Yes, they did acknowledge that indeed the number was accurate, but whether the options given them, was sustainable was a different conversation.
You are not just assassin or Modibeya Juma. Inti, Yan Juma was assassin sono or Muklusia because on Pessa Jabba to talk. Inti, a Moja assassin on Pessa Bay Moi. I say, or Mumbai May, Juma Aye Baye. San Jumano, or Mashasano, to say, on Bay May, Manu, to say Costo, Man to say Jamwa, to say Ungwana, or Mumbai Yam, Banguano so and to me Amwa. I'm almost as on Bama will be Abubuya, Ninano, Etap in Shanty, Ama, and to me and Yaguma, Nina.
Me say, Yama Minimami, no fish pond back. Na, Meji, Udran. No Drana at the Maya, no Drana, ye. Udran on the buy, and on the Munina. Nam who I know, and I'm who I know, to on my bed, children. No one must see Drano, and ye, into Adea, your person on my Yamai view. Bianca. Into the Akayano, Miss me pay fridge into honor the fridge in a mamma.
And again, one other thing that came out was the flaring of the gas, and which has actually compounded health issues in this community. And they have indicated that recently when they go to the hospitals, one of the key things that they experience is that they are made to buy oxygen. And this wasn't the case, years ago.
Lately, anytime someone falls sick, the first intervention the person will receive was to have an oxygen. They have to fix oxygen on the person before any other thing. So, in conclusion, we have always said, even we believe that the air around has been polluted.
Again, the other key issue that stood out for me has to do with the source of livelihood, which has to do with the businesses that will help them last long, and also if there is no opportunity for the women or the parents now, they are proposing that we could also look at their children, by offering special skills, special training, that can enable them to be employed, by some of the companies like ENI in this community, and even scholarships for their children to further education.
No more maha na niema mu ye de. Obi atumi hwe ne ba. Na sese niema mu ase, wokọ eposumpo a omu nya nam. So wonya nam a na obeton de ahwe oba. Na sese a nam bia ani ho. Nti etumi hwe ye manom. Ye manom ebinom awie secondary school, invest in pomotitifie. Investing in here.
Other key thing that stood out for me is about the environmental impact.
The experience in say here adwuma na mo de aba sebio eponum no say sebio papa no or de eponum but e ba ne sa papa na nkesa esu eye dede mo aso omo mpe dede ye ba ne sa so a lat ya mo so de ye adwuma no e mo ne nyina kogu lat no so de me kire no omo kogu lat no say ya won so ye kwoto net na ye nya bi ti de nyakobo ya do no mo ankesa mo adum lat se bi aboso mo ba ko sa aboso mo ba ko mo bedum lat de nyakopo adom one de ye kwa nkakra de yetumi ye de enya.
The other thing that stood out for me has to do with the grievance mechanism, which for me was a major drawback, in a sense that in the completion report, it indicates that there's going to be a grievance mechanism at the project site for the project affected persons. But we have been told, or we're told, that that is not the case. And that there's only one liaison person who sometimes is quite difficult to get, to even, listen to their grievances.
Beyond the findings discussed, these investigations found other issues that seem not to have been adequately addressed in previous interventions. Although both farmers and fisher folks were affected, the settlement went only to landowners and not necessarily fishermen, especially settlers who had no land.
In the area, project no, ebi amen chano na asase ye ni bi no. Nti de se asase ye ni bi ayo ye de ye say fisherman no so me dia me kwa me so kakra me se ba kwa ma no na me di bi ahwe mama no.
Again, although the project as mentioned is meant to contribute to having access to affordable electricity in the long run, indigents complain of high prices of electricity which affects them.
So I sure lad ben na sika mo de mo adwuma no mo ye no ni nyina ko di lad ben nti I say sika ni nyina ye den asa sika ni nyina ko nso omo plant wo ha mo say plant no mo say odimbo boa ti say ye pese nya solar ana ade bia pese abema lat no so aboa
amane susu say anka omo mine plant omo so mine light sene ne ya tie ho afi the national grid no so omo ka some be but up to now you ho hwe